Can you really tell if someone's into you just by how they sit, look, or smile? Sounds a bit far-fetched, right? But body language, when read properly, can speak louder than words, especially when it comes to attraction. In today's video, we're diving into 6 body language signs that may reveal if a woman is genuinely interested in you. And no, it's not just about crossing legs or flipping hair. It's a little more subtle and much more telling. Before we get into it, let me ask you this. Have you ever misread someone's signals and walked away thinking, she definitely wasn't into me, only to find out later she was? Or maybe the opposite. You thought you had her full attention, but it turns out you were just standing under a cold air vent. Happens more than you'd think. That's why understanding these signs matters not just for romance, but for confidence and self-awareness too. The truth is, attraction isn't always spoken. Often it's shown through micro-expressions, posture, and small subconscious actions. But remember, it's not about becoming a human lie detector. It's about being aware, calm, and observant. In fact, a Stoic approach to interpreting body language, watching without rushing to judgment, is the smartest way to go. So as we go through these 6 signs, keep one thing in mind: observation over assumption. Now here's your moment to join the conversation. Have you ever picked up on body language that turned out to be 100% right or embarrassingly wrong? Drop your story in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you're enjoying content like this, just type seductive wisdom below to let us know you're tuned in. Ready to decode the signals? Let's begin. Eye contact is often the first and most powerful form of silent communication. When a woman is interested in you, her eyes will likely give it away before her words do. It's not just about looking, it's about how long and how often. A lingering glance held just a second too long can mean much more than you think. The eyes don't lie, especially when the rest of the body stays composed. Let's break it down. If she looks at you, then looks away quickly and then looks back again, that's not random. It's a signal. She's curious. She might be trying to catch your attention without being obvious. Now compare that to a casual glance around the room with no real focus. The difference is intention. Interest creates focus. It's not just how long she looks, but how she looks. Are her pupils slightly dilated? That's a physiological response tied to attraction. Does she smile subtly when your eyes meet? That combination, eye contact plus a micro smile, is one of the most consistent low-risk ways women show interest without putting themselves on the spot. It's subtle, but it's deliberate. Here's a practical example. You're in a cafe, and a woman at another table keeps glancing your way. You catch her once, she looks away. Then again and again. That's not coincidence. That's repetition. And in body language, repetition usually means intention. The lingering eye contact followed by a small smile or head tilt, that's as loud as it gets without words. Of course, context matters. Don't assume interest if she's just being polite during a conversation or making eye contact in a group setting. There's a difference between social engagement and flirtation. The key is consistency. Does she hold your gaze when there's no reason to? That's when you pay attention. From a Stoic mindset, it's important not to jump to conclusions. Body language is about awareness, not assumption. You observe the behavior, consider the pattern, and remain calm. No chasing, no reacting emotionally, just noting the signs. Eye contact should invite presence, not pressure. The more still and observant you are, the clearer the message becomes. So next time you're wondering if she's interested, start with her eyes. They often speak the truth long before her words catch up. Just remember, It's not about staring back. It's about noticing the moment and letting it guide your response without forcing anything. In attraction, subtlety is everything. Body language often speaks volumes before a single word is said, and few signals are more telling than how a person positions their body around you. When a woman is interested, her posture naturally reflects openness. She may not even realize she's doing it, but her body aligns with her comfort level, and comfort is the foundation of connection. An open body stance means just that. Her body is open to you. She's not turning away, crossing her arms tightly, or putting objects between you. Instead, her shoulders are relaxed, her torso faces you, and her limbs stay loose rather than defensive. It's a physical sign that says, "I feel safe here." And if someone feels safe around you, that's already a signal worth noticing. For example, picture this. You're in a group conversation, and while everyone else is slightly angled outward or distracted, one woman consistently angles her body toward you, even when she's not directly speaking to you. That's no accident. She's subconsciously positioning herself closer, even if the conversation is shared. That's a comfort cue and a subtle expression of interest. Now compare that to someone sitting with arms crossed, leaning away, or holding a bag or cup in front of their chest. That's closed-off posture, and it usually reflects hesitation, discomfort, or disinterest. While it doesn't always mean rejection, it's your cue to observe and not press forward. In contrast, an open stance is your green light for continuing the interaction with calm confidence. Interestingly, mirroring can also show up through body stance. If she begins to mimic your relaxed posture or leans in when you do, she's synchronizing. Another subconscious clue that she's attuned to your presence. It's not just about openness in her own space, but also a willingness to subtly match yours. A Stoic approach here means reading the room without emotional overattachment. You don't need her to be open, you simply observe that she is. If she's relaxed around you, it's a sign you've already created a safe environment. That's powerful, and from that place, meaningful interaction becomes much easier. So next time you're talking with someone and wondering where you stand, glance at her posture. Is she closing herself off or naturally leaning in, facing you and relaxing into the moment? Her body will often tell you what her words haven't yet dared to say. One of the most overlooked yet powerful signs of interest is mirroring. When someone subtly imitates your gestures, posture, or tone. It's not done consciously. In fact, that's what makes it so telling. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, her body may naturally begin to synchronize with yours, creating a silent harmony that feels surprisingly personal. You take a sip of your drink, and a few seconds later, she takes a sip of hers. You cross your leg, and moments later, she shifts her posture in the same direction. These moments may seem small, even random, but they're often part of a deeper psychological response. Mirroring is a subconscious way we build rapport and signal connection. It's the body's way of saying, "I'm in sync with you." This phenomenon is deeply rooted in human psychology. From infancy, we learn connection through mimicry, smiling when someone smiles at us, leaning in when someone leans toward us. As adults, these micro-behaviors continue, especially when we're around someone we admire or feel safe with. When a woman mirrors your body language, she's essentially signaling trust, attentiveness, and often attraction. To be clear, mirroring isn't always obvious. It's usually subtle and time-lagged, making it easy to miss if you're not paying attention. You might notice she adjusts her tone to match your calm speaking style or starts using similar words and phrases. These are softer, conversational forms of mirroring that still indicate she's aligning herself with you, even energetically. A useful example, imagine you're telling a story and you naturally gesture with your hands. As you speak, you notice she begins to use similar hand movements while responding. She's not copying you. She's connecting with you. This kind of behavioral rhythm is a strong instinctual indicator of rapport. It doesn't mean you should mirror her back on purpose, but recognizing the sign can help you gauge interest with clarity. From a Stoic perspective, noticing mirroring is about quiet observation, not control. You're not trying to make someone match you. You're simply aware of when they do. This keeps you grounded and prevents over-analysis. The presence of mirroring should feel like a quiet signal of mutual ease, not a green light to assume anything too quickly. So next time you're in a conversation and wondering how she feels, pause and observe. Does her energy echo yours? Does her posture shift in rhythm with yours? If the answer is yes, she's not just listening. She's engaging on a deeper, more connected level. Touch is one of the most intimate and revealing forms of body language. While words can be chosen carefully and even eye contact can be controlled, touch often slips through the filter of intention. When a woman is interested in you, the way she navigates physical space, especially in how often and how naturally she finds ways to touch you, can say more than a conversation ever could. We're not talking about obvious, overt gestures. In fact, the most telling signs are often the smallest ones. A light touch on your arm during laughter, a hand briefly resting on your shoulder when making a point, or even a casual brush of your knee under the table. These gestures might seem innocent or even accidental, but if they happen more than once, especially in relaxed, private moments, they're likely not by accident. To put it in context, imagine you're telling a story and she reaches out to tap your forearm as she laughs. It's brief, friendly, but also intimate. If she feels comfortable enough to break that invisible personal space barrier, even for a second, she's signaling both trust and interest. And if those touches become more frequent or linger just a little longer, that's a strong sign she enjoys being close to you. Now, of course, not all touch means attraction. Some people are naturally more tactile, especially in certain cultures or social circles. That's why pattern matters more than a single instance. If you notice repeated gentle touches that aren't mirrored with others in the room, that's a meaningful signal. She's choosing to direct that warmth toward you, and that's rarely by chance. There's also a form of touch that hides behind the phrase accidental. You're walking side by side and her hand lightly brushes yours, not once, but a few times. Or she leans in close to whisper something when speaking at a perfectly audible volume. These moments aren't always deliberate in a conscious way, but they often come from a desire to shorten the physical distance between you. And that's never meaningless. From a Stoic point of view, it's important not to react impulsively. You don't lean in too much or assume too quickly. You simply take note. Is she making contact where she doesn't need to? If so, your calm presence allows that connection to grow naturally, without pressure or misreading. The more grounded you are, the easier it is to let interest unfold at its own pace. So next time you catch a gentle brush, a subtle touch, or a moment of closeness that feels intentional, even if it's brief, don't ignore it. These are the signals of physical comfort, trust, and often attraction. And when they come with a smile, a laugh, or soft eye contact, closeness in that moment is very likely not a coincidence. When it comes to attraction, what we hear often matters just as much as what we see. A woman's voice, its tone, pace, and warmth can be one of the clearest indicators of how she feels in your presence. Interest isn't just expressed through eye contact or body language. It's also hidden in how she speaks to you and how often she laughs around you. A woman who's interested will often adjust her tone when she talks to you. It may soften slightly, become more playful, or even take on a rhythm that mirrors yours. Her pitch might rise subtly when she's excited or lower when she's being serious. But in both cases, it's likely to feel more intentional. It's not just what she says, it's how she says it. You might notice a more melodic or slower cadence. Both are signs of relaxed engagement. Laughter is another powerful cue. Of course, people laugh in many situations, but laughter tied to attraction is different. It's more frequent, often a little louder, and can even come when your joke wasn't that funny. Ever told a simple comment and she laughs in a way that feels a little too generous? That's not forced laughter. It's encouragement. She's signaling that she enjoys your energy and wants you to keep engaging. Let's use a practical example. You're in conversation and you make a light, sarcastic comment. Not only does she laugh, but she leans in slightly and adds something playful of her own. That's shared humor. It's one of the strongest social bonds we have. And when it happens naturally, it's a big sign of mutual interest. The kind of laughter that builds chemistry isn't about comedy. It's about connection. Voice tone can also reflect emotional presence. If she lowers her voice slightly when sharing something personal or asks you questions in a slower, more thoughtful way, she's likely leaning into the moment. It signals intimacy, safety, and a desire to connect more deeply. The shift in tone is a quiet but powerful cue that she's fully present with you, not just being polite. But here's the key: it's not about one laugh or one shift in tone. It's about patterns. Is she consistently warmer when she speaks to you than she is with others? Does her laughter come quickly and often around you, even when the room is quiet? That consistency is where interest reveals itself. And again, don't compare one moment, compare the tone of the whole interaction. A Stoic approach here means resisting the urge to overanalyze every laugh or word. Instead, stay grounded, listen carefully, and let her tone tell the story. You don't need to perform or impress. If she's laughing more, speaking warmly, and leaning into the sound of the moment, you're likely already leaving a strong impression. So next time you're wondering if she's into you, don't just watch. Listen. Her voice might be saying everything her words aren't yet ready to express. Sometimes the clearest sign of interest doesn't come through eye contact, touch, or tone, but through genuine curiosity. When a woman is drawn to you, she doesn't just respond to your words, she engages with them. She listens actively, remembers details, and asks thoughtful questions that go beyond surface-level small talk. And that's no coincidence. In a world full of distractions, attention is one of the rarest and most valuable things someone can give you. If she's putting her phone away, maintaining eye contact, and giving you space to speak without rushing in, those are clear signs that you've got her focus. Interest and attention are deeply connected. One rarely shows up without the other. Curiosity takes that a step further. When she asks about your thoughts, your past experiences, your take on certain topics, it means she's not just filling silence. She wants to understand you. For example, if she remembers something small you mentioned a week ago and brings it up casually in conversation, that's a deliberate act of attention. And people don't invest mental energy in those details unless they care. Think about this scenario. You mention you're into photography, and she not only asks what kind of photos you take, but follows up with, "What got you into that?" That's a layered question. It invites you to open up, and when someone invites your story, they're building connection. These kinds of questions aren't just polite, they're emotional bridges. Even the type of curiosity matters. Is she asking about what you do or what you think? One shows surface interest, the other emotional depth. If she wants to know your opinion on things or how you view certain experiences, she's already imagining how your perspective fits into hers. That kind of curiosity is often an early step toward intimacy. Not necessarily romantic at first, but always meaningful. Now let's flip it. If the conversation stays one-sided and you're doing all the asking, that's a different signal. A woman who's genuinely interested won't let you carry the whole interaction. She'll want to contribute, learn, and exchange. And when the questions feel personal but not intrusive, you'll know she's not just passing time, she's connecting. From a Stoic viewpoint, this is where observation meets patience. Don't get caught up in needing attention. Simply notice when it's freely given. You don't demand curiosity, you recognize and appreciate it. If a woman's energy naturally flows toward understanding you, it means you're already having an impact. So next time you're unsure of where you stand, ask yourself this: is she asking about my world because she has to, or because she genuinely wants in? That answer, more than anything else, will show you how real the interest truly is. So now that you've seen these 6 subtle but powerful signs, the question is, have you been missing them all along? Attraction often whispers before it speaks, and if you've been waiting for loud signals, you might have overlooked the quiet ones that matter most. The truth is, body language doesn't lie. It just requires you to be present enough to read it. These signs aren't meant to turn you into a mind reader, but to sharpen your awareness. Whether it's lingering eye contact, playful touches, or sincere curiosity, each signal is an invitation, not a promise. What you do with that invitation is up to you. The more grounded, calm, and observant you are, the more naturally connection will happen, without the need to chase or overthink. If this video gave you a new perspective or helped clarify what you've been sensing but couldn't name, let us know by commenting seductive wisdom down below. That's how we know you're part of this journey with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who definitely needs to hear it. Until next time, stay sharp, stay calm, and keep reading the signs.